There is one big difference between world-class experience and everything else, and that is this. World-class customer experience doesn't know the word no. I am sitting right now in the Bahamas, and my wife and I are celebrating our 14-year date-iversary, and we're also here doing a little kind of work planning for our quarterly meeting that is coming up. And we are staying at, I'm not going to share the name of the resort, but behind me here is a very, very nice resort in the Bahamas. And we just had an experience that really made it clear for me what is the difference between great service and extraordinary service. Because you see, this hotel that we're staying at is really, really nice, but there are multiple hotels as a part of the same hotel. And I don't know how to say this without sounding snobby, but we're staying in the nicer part of the nicest, the luxury part of the hotel. And because we're staying in that part of it, we actually get access to all the other parts of the hotel. And we went over to see the sunset at a different part of the hotel, and there was a little restaurant there that we were sitting at, and it was such a different experience there than it was here. And why? I mean, this is part of the question, right? Because if you look at hotels, I mean, hotels in some ways are like commodities. It's a bed, it's a place to sleep, to lay your head, and so you go, what makes it different? And this is important for any small business owner or any business of any size. I mean, if you're a realtor, what makes you different from the next realtor, or a financial advisor, or if you sell supplements, or if you sell video courses, or if you sell cars, like what makes the difference? Many times, the most noticeable difference is in the customer experience. It is in the differentiation, not in what you sell or what you offer, but how you sell it, and what is the experience like for the customer to buy it, which points to an important and meaningful question, which is what creates an extraordinary experience? And what is the difference between an extraordinary experience and an average experience? Because this section of the hotel, I presume, is a couple times more than staying in technically the same hotel just next door. So even if you say, well, a hotel in the Bahamas is different than a hotel in Cabo San Lucas, sure, they are different to some extent. But even in the same property, you go, how come just 200 yards that direction is half the price of 200 yards this direction? Same location, same weather, same property, same views, but somehow what is the difference? And here's what it is. I don't think it just comes down to nicer rooms. It comes down to extraordinary experience. And the difference, there is one big difference between world-class experience and everything else, and that is this. World-class customer experience doesn't know the word no. It doesn't know the word no. So when we were at this other restaurant that we just came from, we were watching the sunset. We got there, and my wife was asking for a champagne, and they said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, we don't have champagne." Now, we have had champagne, or she has had champagne. I don't drink, but she has had champagne for the last couple days. She's had glasses in multiple places, which means there is champagne not only in the Bahamas, not only in this part of the Bahamas, but in this very resort, there is somewhere champagne. Now, contrast that with earlier today, we were actually out on the beach, and we asked the person who was serving us if literally, and my wife doesn't drink that much. This will sound like, she drinks a lot. She really doesn't drink that much. But we're sitting on the beach, and she says, do you think there's any chance somebody could go to our room and grab me the glass of champagne that is in my room from last night? And you know what they said? Here's what they could have said. No, I'm sorry, ma'am, that's not our policy. They could have said, well, no, ma'am, I'm sorry. We sell champagne here, and if you'd like to buy one, we will get you one. But you know what they did? They said, absolutely, we'll send someone up right away. And not only did they go get the champagne, they brought it down in a chilled glass, and they set it in a bucket of ice so that when the champagne came, it was nice and cold all the way out to the beach. And they didn't make any money from it. And we were willing to pay, and we were willing to buy champagne from this other place, but the answer was no. We said, hey, do you have any snacks? And they said, sorry, we don't serve food here. Now, I'm not complaining, okay? Please don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying, oh, this is terrible. Can you believe it? They wouldn't give us champagne. They wouldn't give us nuts. That's not the point of the story. I wasn't upset. I wasn't mad. I'm not a total snob. I am telling you the story because it illustrates such a subtle but significant difference between average experience and extraordinary experience. And extraordinary experience, the answer is always yes, or let's see what we can do. Let me tell you what I can do. The other thing was our room was really hot. In big resorts like this, they often limit how cold you can make the room. And we said, gosh, the room is really hot. Technically it says 68, but it feels much hotter. And they said, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me see what I can do. And what happened was a little while later, somebody knocks on our door and they explained to us, they said, you know what? We can't do anything about the temperature in your room, but here's a fan. And they brought us a fan, right? So the answer wasn't no. The answer was, let me see what I can do for you. That is extraordinary experience. It's not just no, we don't do that. No, it's our policy. In fact, in customer service, they sometimes call this the milkshake test. And if you go to a restaurant, and you were to say, hey, I would like a milkshake. If you were to order a milkshake, a lot of times they don't have milkshakes on the menu. And so if you can always tell if there's a well-trained staff by ordering a milkshake, because most restaurant menus don't have milkshakes. And yet, almost every restaurant you go to has ice cream, and it has milk, and it has ice, and it has a blender, which is all you need to make a milkshake. But if it's a well-trained staff, they'll say, let me see what I can do. How could I give you a milkshake? Or how could I give you something close to it? What are the options I could come up with? But in an average experience, the answer is, no, I'm sorry, that's not on the menu. No, that's not possible. And again, I'm not complaining. I'm not upset. I understand policies. What I am saying is that if you want to provide extraordinary experience instead of average experience, the answer has to always be yes, or at least let me tell you what I can do. Don't tell your clients what you can't do. Ask and ask for a moment to figure out to see what you can do. And even if the answer comes back as no, typically there's always something you can do, even if you can't satisfy their request. And that is extraordinary experience. That is differentiation. That is something that people are willing to pay much more for.